What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90. And it's been a few hours, 24 hours, and since we played Southampton, and that was a weird one. There was lots of. Let's go through some of the basics. I think let's go from the beginning. So looking at the lineup with a Luke, I was thinking, okay, this guy's here to prove himself. The rest of the team, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm like, I pretty much agree with most of them. Even like Daka starting, let's be honest. The fact that he scored, he actually played quite well after he scored as well. Mavididi in the team. We'll talk about some of the individual people. But the one thing that people keep talking about, and I'm still not on board with it, is the manager. Now, the manager is to blame, not fully. I've said this before, but when we're playing in a certain way, like for example, the manager got it wrong. Um, it's easy to say in hindsight, of course. But the second half, we shut up shop and we made sure to play a boring game because the game was done. 3-0 down, red card. Southampton decided they were going to take their best players off and just kind of sit in, which is fair enough. They could have gone for the jugular, and thank God they didn't. But there was some problems in the first half. The fact is, we started really well. We were playing some really good stuff down that right hand side. JJ Fatau looked off it, really off it. Some sloppy play. But I want to get something I want to mention. We're not doing the basics properly. And I'll be honest, we've been not doing it all season. Now, people will go, this is the job of the manager. The manager needs to make him do that. And I agree to a certain part. Of course, the manager is the one that gets it pushed at. Another one, for example, for their second goal, Fatawu falls on the floor. Could have had a foul. It's dubious. The referee had a bit of a shocking game, but in general, one of the basics of football, you play to the whistle. And if the whistle is blown, then you stop. We stop playing. And then Southampton go, right, it's a great opportunity to hit her on the counter. If you flip that back to when we played against them 2 years ago, about this time 2 years ago, we did exactly the same thing to Southampton. We took the ball, and I remember Mavididi getting a goal. I remember he missed a really good opportunity, and then I think it was 4-1 it or 4-2 it ended in the end, and we hit them. This was a role reversal. They played really well, but when we're going for 1-0 down completely against the run of play, the players didn't, the centre backs in particular, considering we've got lots of injuries, Walt Fass, just again, basics. Can we do the basics well? No. Now, might be, oh, well, that's the manager's job. Cool. Let's say we get the manager out and we bring another manager in. Is that guaranteed? No. Now, speaking on blue tinted glasses, while we were talking about this, and I was looking at it, and some people, so Anil tend to think that, well, the manager will go, then we're going to bring in a manager, just like Southampton have done. So Will Still has done, he's been fired. They brought in under 23s manager, and it's all working. Um, I don't see the same thing happening with Leicester. Yes, we've got a good academy, but I think Marty is the best that we've got for this moment in time. There are massive moves happening, as we saw from the last video about John Rudkin moving upstairs and bringing in all these different positions, and we're about the same amount of points off the bottom relegation as we are to the playoff places. There's lots of people in that space. So I can't see the club making a massive move until we actually need to. So in the first half, let's come back to that. I mean, there was some basic defending. Just what it feels like again. I don't want to go, but if just want it more than the opposition. The opposition, Harwood Bellis wanted it more. Um, Never happened. Then we had just the centre backs. One of them's going up. So when we're playing 2-0, when we're 1-0 or 2-0 down, 1-0 up, you can kind of understand them a little bit pressing. One of them's going up the pitch, and then we get hit on the counter. We knew Southampton were going to do that because Charlton did exactly the same thing. So again, the manager just needed a little bit of flack for that. But also, when you're 2-0 down, and then when you're losing, why are you trying to play the same way? When you've got Badialuko got sent off. Why are we trying to play? when the game is pretty much done at that point. The job then is to get into half time. So we've lost a Luco, and you know what? This sounds really stupid in hindsight, but actually had quite a good game. I think he actually looked better than Christian. I saw more from Christensen and Thomas. In terms of Thomas looks a bit lost at times. Christensen just looks like he shoved off the ball too easily. Aluko looked direct. He was getting to really good spaces. I also liked his link-up play with Mavididi as well. Looking at those positions, um, I thought he actually had a decent game, but he made some silly challenges. And partly one of them was his fault because another player lost the ball, so he was making up for it. Should he have done better? Yes, he was over ambitious. And for the first one, the second one, there is no need to put your hand across him, um, and put your hand across the person to try and block him because there was again absolutely no need. So when I'm looking at it there, I'm thinking, okay, what have we done there? In terms of the catalyst for why we were losing. Oh, um, my microphone's come out. Hold on, everyone. Apologies. Um, change this one for now. Um, so when it comes to the way that we were playing, I could understand why, and it's the first time I've seen a sense of kind of community and direction from this team because I can see, oh, we can see what we're trying to build, and we are hopefully back to this one. Lovely. What we're trying to do and how we're trying to build it. But when you go 1-0 down against run of play, 2-0 down, player sent off, why are we still trying to attack? Why are we still trying to go for the jugular? Look, I liked Marty because he's pragmatic, and he wasn't as pragmatic. In the second half, he made the substitutions, battered down the hatches, got some experience on, understood that 100%. But when it comes to the way that we were performing, in the first half, he does need to go, look, this isn't good enough. And I do expect some players to take responsibility. Certain players I want to give credit to. Oliver Skip, not a massive fan of him. Just not, he might be all right. The price how we paid for him was way too much and what we needed. Um, at left back, he actually did well. He actually was all right in the last game as well. It wasn't like pulling up trees, but he was pretty good. He's forming a nice relationship with Winks. Winks looked compared to this team we had 2 years ago in the championship. This, even though on paper, objectively, a lot of them same players are still here. So, for example, Daka, Mavididi, Fatawu, Winks, Fast, Vestergaard, Hamza. These players were around and did play like a large majority of this season, but you can tell the quality is nowhere near. I think partly is obviously Enzo was a better manager, and partly because some of these players just want to leave, or they're just not as they weren't the players they were a couple of seasons ago. Fast is a great example. Was unbeatable in the championship last season, one of the best players in the championship. This season, he's levels below that. Mavididi, another great player, but this season looks lower. Fatawu, not as good as. Okay, maybe he's not a good example. Um, but it is frustrating, and I don't know where we are going in the long term. What are we going to do going forward? I think we're just going to have to stumble through this year, and it's going to be not fun to watch. And the fact that Top said in his interview, we're back to where we were when we first took over the club, for me speaks volumes. This season is a write-off. We just don't need to get relegated. We need to dodge the points deduction. If the points deduction comes now, we probably move slightly into relegation zone or towards there. I know they're dealing it in court at the moment, but not feeling too happy with the way Leicester are performing. And I don't think we've got much choice about it. I think we've just got to suck it up. Nothing is going to change for this moment in time. So we've got other teams in the meantime, and I don't see it changing too much. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I was going to try and analyze this game in parts. The referee wasn't very good. A couple of goals were offside, but listen, if they were onside, it wouldn't change too much about the game. And I think there's a lot to learn. And playing JJ out of position because he just looks a bit. We're just not getting the best out of him in this 10 position. Um, Fatawu looks not as good as he used to. Begovic, I think, did well. Even though I think he had got a really strong hand to one of the goals as well. But we're going to be in this hole for a bit. Let's see what we do because we are. I can't see it getting better anytime soon. I hope we do, but there was elements of something coming together, but it was washed away. So Marty needs to get more clever, and the players just need to do the basics well. Not all of them, specifically the defenders, um, and the centre backs, which we don't have any other fit at this moment in time. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. So goodbye.